Okay, we're ready now to have a follow-up for that activity that you tried on page 165, activity number 1. Now please excuse my drawing. It looks like my 5-year-old nephew actually drew it, but take a look at the one in your book instead and see if you can follow along what we're doing. So we start off with something that has 4 bottles on one side. And 5 1-gram weights. And this is balanced, so the other side has 35 1-gram weights. And we're supposed to try and use that picture to decide how much each of the bottles weighs. And they do give us a hint. They said you can start by removing weights from both sides of this. So I'm going to take my eraser here. And I think I'm going to use my pen instead. And we'll just cross them off. If I take away one weight from this side, I need to take away one weight from the other side to keep it balanced. I'm going to keep doing that, making sure each time to take a weight off of each side. And so now that I've done that, I now have just 4 bottles on this side. And on this side, since we took away 5 of those 1-gram weights, I have 30 1-gram weights left over. So now I know that 4 bottles weighs 30 grams. So to decide how much one bottle weighs, I'm going to take that 30 grams and divide it by 4. And then I get that one bottle weighs 7.5 grams. So that's one way you can use the picture and the idea of a balanced scale to actually solve the problem. So now I'm going to go on to part C. I'm going to clear this picture out of here. And it says you can take this equation and use it to check our answers. Now the W, the variable in this equation, was the thing that we didn't know in the beginning. That was the weight of one bottle. And the +5 here stood for how many extra 1-gram weights were on that side. The equal sign is where the balance was for the scale. So this was all on one side and this was all on the other side. So to check our answer, we're going to use the fact that we found that W equals 7.5. I'm not going to use units because when I'm using variables, the letter G can look like a variable as well. So I'm just going to use the number. But I'm going to put it back in this equation. So this is 4 times 7.5 plus 5, and that's supposed to equal 35. Well, right now I'm not sure that's true, so I'm going to put a little question mark up here. Great. So I did the arithmetic on this side and found this is 35. And 35 does in fact equal 35. So this answer checks, it's correct. Notice that I didn't pick any number that I wanted for W. I took the answer that we got and substituted that into the equation to see if it would work. Okay, now I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to start this whole problem over again looking at just the algebra. So the algebra said you have 4 bottles that weigh something, W, which I don't know, plus 5, and that should equal 35. And I want to solve this equation. Now the first thing we did with the scale was to take away this 5 from both sides. So if I'm writing that with algebra, it looks like this. 4W plus 5, and then subtract 5. Equals 35. And since we subtracted 5 from one side of the scale, we needed to subtract 5 from the other side of the scale to keep it balanced. So I subtracted 5 from both sides. I wrote this in a horizontal fashion. This is much safer than some students do a vertical way to show their subtraction. This takes an extra step to write it down, but you can eliminate some mistakes that happen if you use the other notation. So let's see what we get. This is 4W. Plus 5 minus 5 goes to 0. Equals 35 minus 5 is 30. Which is what we got when we said that there were 4 bottles equals 30 grams. Now I want to find out what one bottle weighs. This is 4 times W. So now to undo or to get rid of the 4, I'm going to divide by 4. You cannot subtract that away since that's multiplication. If you do that on one side of the equation, to keep it balanced, you want to do that on the other side as well. These 4's are going to cancel. So we divide by 4 on both sides. The 4's cancel, so the side is just W. Technically it's W over 1, but anything over 1 can be written as just W. 30 divided by 4, that's this problem that we did over here, and there's our answer looking at this just as though it was an algebra problem and not having the picture to go by. All right, go back to your lesson and I'll instruct you what I want you to do next.